Welcome to a very special episode on my very personal S54 swapped E28. Now, cars mean a lot to certain people. I mean, like, we do buy off nostalgia, don't we? Growing up, I wasn't into BMWs. Wasn't into them at all. My father was into Mercs, he was into Ford, I'm Australian. He told me the Holdens were shit and BMWs are also shit. Now, at the ripe old age of 40, I own a Monaro and this fucking beautiful E28. Now, way back when, I bought this car when I didn't have a lot of money. I literally paid like £500 for it, and this was like 8 years ago in my old company. I wanted to prove a point and build something that was pretty special. We were going to go M50 turbo, and then the Shell came along. A friend called Zarko picked it up. It was fucking beautiful when it turned up. It was not this color, it was like a light blue metallic. We were gonna make a statement, so we were gonna go M50 turbo. Big power, whatever. And then a dude turned up with an M3 one day, E46, and he was like, oh, I've just put a new engine into it. And I was like, all right, where's the old one? He goes, in the back of my garage. Done a deal and got the engine. And then all of a sudden, the combination of an S54 being into an E28 was starting to be realistic. Now, at the time, I didn't think that is what I wanted because I wanted big power. And as I've now come to learn, power is not always the way. The S54 has got to be one of the greatest engines ever made, for a road car anyway. So we put it in, had a few hiccups, had to rebuild it twice, but now I can't explain how good this car feels. I built it looking at every single bit on it. So I made sure that the ratios are right. I put a 323 diff in it, ZF5 speed, lightened flywheel, M5 clutch. I've rebuilt the LSD and we put 40% locker plates in it. Everything that's been done to this car is to make it personal to me because I still wanted to use the thing. I actually dailied it for 2 years, took my kids to school in it. I drove it all the time. Then they started skyrocketing in value. I can't believe how much these things are now worth. I put a chunk of money into it anyway, and it is just absolutely ridiculous. So this is just a video to show you around it, hopefully give you an insight to what it's like. Should we have a look? When we first done this car, I kind of threw it together. We had to go to an event called Retro Rides. Now, I don't know if you look at my videos on Instagram and bits and pieces, I don't hold back. And my cars are used and abused. This thing's seen the limiter more times than what?
I changed my pants.
Oh, that's really shit.
Okay.
Like a hooker bangs nines. And I built it abuse. So the ZF box, bulletproof, but also cheap. M5 clutch, they are fucking amazing. This has got an E39 M5 clutch, so those things are super strong. And in all fairness, since it's gone in, it's been built like this for the last 6 years. I've given it death, like the whole time. It's gone through like pretty much 2 engine rebuilds and it's still absolutely fine. When we chucked the lump in, I wanted to keep it nice and clean, nice and simple, so let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we? Very recently I did actually put 2 grass bonnet struts in it, so it doesn't have to be held up by a broom. Oh my god, dude, like, it just doesn't happen, does it? Like, this shit is fucking unbelievable. We turn up here at like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning to catch sunrise. We have everyone up here fucking pumping up their tires and shit. Fuck my life. Right, okay. I threw it together because we wanted to go to a place called Retro Rides. It was on Shell's the Walsh, which is a hill climb, and I wanted to take this. Now, when I say threw it together, we really did. Chucked the engine in. The ECU, we wrapped it in a magic cloth, cable tied it to the strut, chucked it under there, and that was supposed to be like a temporary fix. Took it up the hill. I'm pretty sure I got some videos somewhere. I'll send them to Dav to put it in here now. I just gave it absolute fucking death. And to be honest with you, after I drove it back from there, I carried on giving it death for like another 4 years, and like, it was faultless. Like, the best part about modifying a car with a modern engine, they're turnkey. And this car, in all fairness, only really broke down once in me in 4 years. It was turnkey, it never broke. And I gave it absolute death until she nuked an engine. That was devastating, because like, I turned up. Now S54s, if you know a bit about them, they're now what? This thing came from a 2003 car, it's nearly 20 years old. 20 years of death this engine's probably had, and she let go. Ended up chunking one of the sidewalls because one of the pistons cracked in between the rings. and that was devastating. And I thought the engine was scrap, but I took it to a guy called Huxtable, and he was like, yeah, no, I got this, I'll just re-sleeve it. Now, if you know these 3.2s, the walls are really, really thin, so I didn't think that was possible, but this guy just smashed it, and it turned out amazing. But yeah, apart from that little hiccup, she's been absolutely fine. I wanted the noise. When you're building a car, people forget, like, how to put it together exactly, and I didn't want the airbox because they're really muted with the airbox. Obviously, if you don't know S54s, they come with ITBs as stock. You can run an alpha N tune, which means that you can run a carbon fiber CSL airbox, which I was gonna run, but then I met a dude called Gary. Gary owns, I don't know what his fucking Instagram handle is, but I'm gonna put it right here. I think it's Atomman on Instagram. And he is like a wizard with metal and CAD. I hit him up because he messaged me and he was like, oh, I can make some trumpets for it. And he made these fucking beautiful milled aluminium fucking trumpets, and they were like beautifully machined. And he came up and adjusted them and put them on. They're completely custom, they're completely one-off. They cost a bit of money, but the noise is ridiculous. Now, I know you guys are thinking, oh my God, this guy is running this shit without filters. Surely it's gonna suck it all in and nuke itself. Now, yes, I'm very aware of it. No, I'm not a baller and I can't afford a £10,000 engine rebuild, but am I gonna run it without filters anyway? Fucking course I am. This morning, it had a little bit of a dicky fit, didn't it, on the way up? Because the air temp sensor, it runs air temp, it doesn't run MAP. It runs MAP, not MAF, and the air temp sensor is having a little bit of a dicky fit because I think the air density was a bit heavy and she wasn't really liking it. But the sound is the best part about this car. When we did the exhaust is relatively quiet, as you'll hear in a little bit, but the fucking induction noise is something else. Exhaust sound is for boys, induction sound is for men. And this thing has got all the fucking noise. When we went to paint it, we had to pull the engine out. I went down the road of smoothing out the engine bay. The engine bay does look particularly nice. This car was never meant to be this way. It was always meant to be like my little track car daily abuser, but like since the values have gone up, I'm not that guy. I still use it, abuse it. Obviously, as you can see from the splitter, I don't hold back. And it was painted 4 years ago by a guy called Tom B, and Tom B absolutely knocked it out of the park. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. The color is amazing. I chose it off a MIPA chart. Never seen it on any car, but then I was looking through the MIPA chart. I was like, oh, I'm gonna paint it black or this. And honestly, through the process, I was like, I'm gonna paint it black. And the day before, I went down to go like, no, we're gonna change the color. We painted it black, and then Tom was like, no, you really got to paint it this color and it'll look amazing. I'm still on the fence. Although I love it and it looks very period correct, I was like, I don't know. I'll paint it black at some point though. For now, it's just fine the way it is. Body-wise, we've done quite a bit of work to it. And if you know E28s, you'll start seeing the things that we've done that I haven't really seen before. Now, I love the old school 80s touring car stuff. That is my vibe, right? And that's what I wanted to go for with this. I wanted it to be usable still. Definitely wanted it on 16s with fat rubber. So I ended up finding these beautiful OZ roots. I run 808Rs because obviously she's running a bit of power. I wanted to be able to put it down. Unfortunately, the 808Rs don't exist anymore and they changed them to 808 RSs, which are like not as nice and they are a little bit squirrely, but they're okay. I'm gonna have to check other tire options. It gives it that hard stance, that look that I wanted. I wanted that 80s, slightly retro modified look. For me, I nailed it. I know that people love the stance thing, I get that, but I wanted it to look like this. And with the 80s touring cars, they didn't have bumpers, they were bumperless, right? But the problem is with these, when you had these balances from new, they usually came with like a little lip, and the little lip was horrific. So to get this to look like this, we did a huge amount of work. Obviously we deleted the fog lights, welded plates in, and then we smoothed and welded all this out. I think the effect looks amazing. Put an Alpina splitter on it to give it that look. We also took the side moldings off, and if you own E28s, you will know they got holes in it. That was a fucking nightmare. Tom B loved doing that job. And then we deleted the side indicators too. So it gives it an all-round smoother look, which I do genuinely love. The end result means that it looks like nothing else. Inside, I wanted to roll with something that gave me all the information on it. Obviously we were running an S54, so I wanted to run a digital dash. I could have run a stock dash, and sometimes I wish that I did run a stock dash, but Digi-Dash, race car, that's what I wanted. Luckily, the ECU is a stock ECU and we ran it off CAN, so the dash runs off CAN. So it's a Dash 2, a race technology, and it's a great little thing. And it works perfect, like engine temp, throttle, oil pressure, oil temp, it shows everything. It even does lap times and shit, but I'd never even like gone into that. The seats. Wanted something that looked cool, but was super comfy because as I said, it was going to daily the thing. So I went with a set of Recaro SR5s. These are not SR3s, these are SR5. They are slightly taller in the back, so I actually fit into them, and they're the most comfortable things ever. It's got a short shift and it just basically is a lovely place to be. I didn't want to put a cage in it, although it really does need a cage, but I didn't want to put a cage in it because I use it to take my kids to school and back, and I wanted to use it as a daily as well. So I don't have a cage, so it keeps the back seats. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very happy with it. Should we take it for a spin? I think so. Let's go.
I feel lost.
Lost? What do you mean?
Dav and I's first go at trying to do this and make it look kind of professional. This is Dav. Dav is a guy behind the camera most of the time, but like luckily I have his presence graced in the car. We're going to take you for a little spin. Hopefully the noise comes across in this not too much because it is quite loud, as you probably heard by this little flybys. And I'll try and explain to you as best I can what this thing feels like to drive. Now I am biased. And ignore that squeaky clutch pedal, right? But I'm going to shut up a second. Coming out of the hairpin. The S54 is so linear, so you're able to put the power down. This has got no traction control, so we're going to take it a little bit easy. Bring the noise. Oh my god! Oh my god! Shut my mouth, I'm going to concentrate. This car is a handful at best, but I've driven it for so long I'm really used to it. I mean, look, famous last words, and look at that fucking arm go now. But the power is so linear, so you're able to like lay into it in the water, there's no surprises. Here we go. Third gear. Nice. 8,000 RPM. Oh, great game. Hopefully, this little insight into my 28. We're gonna have to, like, we were fucking about this morning, aren't we? Yeah. Holy. Oh, the brakes are not happy. The brakes are not happy. I've leaned I've leaned a bit too much on them today. I rasped a bit too much. Oh, they're not happy. And on that note, guys, we're gonna have to leave. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If it doesn't turn out as great as we think it's gonna be, we're gonna go again. But should we do one more? One more second, third?